Hey guys, so this is your trainer Anirudh Chhillar. So we are back with one more video of OSPF. I hope you are learning in a good way and a good pace. So let's go for the next video.
See, on R8 and R7, you are not having type 5 LSS. But let's say that still the performance of R7 and R8 is not good. Because still it is having too many inter-area routes available inside its routing table, as well as too many summary LSS available inside its database table. So because it is still maintaining a huge database table as well as huge number of routes available inside its own routing table. See, what is happening to you today? What? Reflection. Is it now? I was saying that still the performance of R7 and R8 is not well. It's not good because still they are maintaining a huge database table as well as a huge number of prefixes available inside its routing table. So what to do? Now we can make it totally stubby. Once we will configure it as totally stubby area, you will see that it will filter. It will start to filter type 3, which is summary LSA. 4 and 5 it was already filtering, right? So after configuring this area as a totally stubby area, you will see that it will filter type 3, 4 and 5, all of them, and will inject a default route only in the database table of of totally stubby area. To configure it totally stubby, because ABRs are only ABRs, because it is already configured as stubby area, right? So because only ABRs are responsible. Try to get my point. Only ABRs are, area border routers are responsible to inject exactly. Only ABRs are responsible to inject summary LSS inter-area routes into your area. So from where you can filter out them? From only ABRs. That is why you will configure these commands only on ABRs. Like you will configure it on ABR R5. After configuring area 2, say area 2 step no summary. What does it mean? That you are also instructing your ABR to do not inject summary LSS2 in this area, because all inter-area prefixes will go in the form of summary LSS. In same manner, I will move on R6 and also I will say no summary. So that summary LSS will not be injected by ABR into this area now. You are not required to configure this command on any other router, because only ABRs are responsible to inject summary LSS into your area. And because on ABRs I have instructed that okay, you are not allowed to inject this summary LSS into this area. That's why they will not inject the summary LSS2 into this area now. So now you can move on R7. On R7 you can see show IP OSPF database. Inside database table you do not have anything now. There is no summary LSS available except those summary LSS which are used for default route. So still it is getting the default route, but apart from the default route it does not have any inter-area prefix. It is having only and only intra-area prefix, as you can check the routing table of R7 as well. But still it can communicate with anyone. Like if you are on a trace route 120.1.1.1 external prefixes, yeah, it is working perfectly. 11.11.11 ping 1.1.1 is working perfectly. There is no problem at all, right? So now at least now their performance must come up. Must be good, because we have filtered out all types of LSS from their database table as well as routes from their routing table. In place of them, you are having a default route only. So I hope you people have understood it now, the function of totally stubby. So now at least their performance will be good. But the problem is now R13 have taken place. RIP is running here, and your company, this was a small organization, was running RIP. Your company, your organization has taken over this company, this another organization. The problem is that the link can be terminated only on R8. You do not have any other way. You do not have any other option here. This link can be terminated only on R8. Now, because RIP is running over there, so let's configure RIP on R8 now. Router version network 138.1.0.0, and you do one thing, move on R13. On R13 itself, you have to reconfigure their loopback interfaces. Now you do one thing, move back on R8. Show IP route, rip. यही तो आएगा 138 is also running in between R8 and R13. Right, so now our RIP is running in between R8 and R13, and you need to take them into OSPF now, so that the users in OSPF domain and users in ESERP domain can easily communicate with the users in RIP domain. So it means that on R8 you have to perform again mutual redistribution. So first of all, let's configure redistribution on R8. You will see that router redistribute, read this error message. Tell me. It is saying that it have become an ASBR without having valid area. Without having valid area, it have become. Have you understood my point or not? Because there is no valid area available. Here only one area is running, which is area 2, which is configured as stubby area, which do not support type 5 LSA, which do not support redistribution actually. Yeah. So it have become an ASBR, but there is no redistribution done. Even you can check its database table as well. So IPOSPF database, check it out. Is it having any type 5 LSA here? No. And if you configure show IPOSPF command here, you will see that it is working as an redistributing RIP into OSPF, but it is not done successfully because it is not having any valid area. As you can see that area 2 is configured as right. How can we solve this problem now? Because see, we have solutions of it, like we can make it standard area. We can make it standard area, but if I configure this area 2 as standard area, what will happen, or what can happen? What? Of course, again the database table of area 2 will become huge, and the performance of R7 and R8 will go down. We cannot take risk. so we cannot make it standard area. But if I'm defining it as stub area, then again redistribution will not be allowed. The problem is same. To solve this problem, we are having NSSA, area type NSSA, not so stubby area. If you talk about the NSSA area, I mean, if you are talking about area type NSSA, remember type 4 and 5 will be filter out. Type 4 and 5 will be filter out. If we redistribute in NSSA anything into this area, then it will generate type 7 LSA. Type 7 LSAs are allowed through NSSA, not so stubby area. These are allowed. So after configuring any area as NSSA, it will start to filter type 4 and type 5. It will not allow type 4 and type 5, right? But then after, if you redistribute anything into that area, it will directly generate type 7 LSA. It will not generate type 5. So do not say that it will convert type 5 to type 7. No. If you redistribute anything into an SSA area, I mean an SSA, not so stubby area, then it will directly generate only and only type 7 LSA. And type 7 LSAs are allowed through not so stubby area, I mean an SSA. Fine. Then also you must remember, after filtering 4 and 5 LSA, it will not inject. ABRs will not inject. Yeah. Will not inject default route. Automatically fast express. Matlab get. Fine. So ABRs will not inject default route automatically, but we can force it. We can force them to generate default route or to inject default route, right? I will not say generate, to inject. Right? And that's what we wanted actually. That's what we wanted, because we wanted to filter out all type 5 LSS, because R11 is redistributing 500 prefixes. So we wanted to filter all of them out from the database table of area 2. So if I configure this stubby area as totally stubby as an SSA now, so you will see that it will still not allow those type of LSS. So those type of LSS generated by R11 will still not be allowed in area 2. But now at least we can perform redistribution on R8. And R8 will be responsible to generate now type 7 LSS. And because type 7 LSS are allowed into an SSA not so stubby area, in area 2 it will be allowed. So R8 will advertise those type 7 LSs in the direction of R7 as well as in the direction of R6 as well as in the direction of R5. Fine, because all of them are participating in this NSSA, right? Not such stubby areas. All of them will receive them as type 7 LSA. Fine. But the problem is that standard areas cannot understand type 7 LSAs. That's the problem. Standard areas such as area 0, like here area 1 is also working as a standard area. Area 3 is also working as an standard area. So now problem is that standard areas cannot understand type 7 LSA. Only and only not so stubby areas can understand type 7 LSAs. That's the problem. So now how these type 7 LSAs will go from area 2 to another areas like area 0, area 1 and area 3. So in that case you will require to translate these type 7 LSAs back into type 5 LSAs. So it means translation will be required, right? Because type 7 LSAs cannot be understandable for standard areas. So it is mandatory that type 7 LSAs must be translated back into type 5 LSAs before injecting them into standard areas, into other areas. Understood? And now there are few rules that this translation can be done by an ABR only. This translation, like from type 7 to type 5, can be done by ABRs, because only ABRs will be responsible to inject LSAs from one area to another area. Because this time these LSAs will go from area 2 to area 1 as well as area 0. So for doing that, ABRs will be responsible. That is why this translation can be done by ABR. ABR, only and only ABR. And if you are having more than one ABR within your area, then there will be an election for translator, because only one ABR can work at a time as a translator. If you are having multiple ABRs in an area, then all of them cannot work simultaneously as a translator. No, because only one device will be responsible to perform translation. You know why? Because there can be a routing loop. So to prevent your network from routing loops, there is a rule that only one ABR can work as a translator at a time. So this time, because you are having multiple ABRs, R5 and R6, both of them are working as an ABR, right? So there will be an election for translator. So for translator election, there is only one procedure. There is only one criteria to elect it, which is router ID, and which is higher one. The ABR with having higher router ID will become translator, and it will be responsible to translate those type 7 LSAs back into type 5. So either R5 or R6. So this time, because R6 is having higher router ID than R5, so R6 will be elected as a translator, and this R6 will inject those type 7 LSAs into standard areas in the form of type 5 LSAs. So you will find type 5 LSAs will also be available in the database table of R6 as well as R5, because both of them are working as an ABR. However, translation will be done by R6 only. So let's configure it now. Is not it? Fine. So let's do one thing. Let's configure it as an SSA. So let's start it from R5 itself now. Area 2 is what? An SSA. What is it saying? So you have to say no, area 2 is what? And then you have to say area 2 is what? An SSA. In same manner, I will move on R6. Area 2 is stub, just remove it, and then say area 2 is what? An SSA. Then move on R7. Router OSPF 1. It is stub, remove it, say area 2 is what? An SSA. Then move on R8.
So LSA3 will not be counted. Only 4 and 5 are counted.
Only 4 and 5 will be filtered out. Of course, in NSSA only 4 and 5 will be filtered out. Even there will not be any default route. Let me show you. So redistribution must be done now on R8. First of all, let's move on R8. Because I told you that if you have configured any area as NSSA, and then after if you perform redistribution, then it will generate directly type 7 LSA. So let me show you the database table of it, of R7 itself. Type 7 LSAs, yes, for area 2. Type 5 LSAs were not area specific LSA. Do you remember? Type 5 LSAs were not area specific LSAs. That is why it was possible for type 5 LSAs to move from one area to another area even without having an ABR as well. But this time you see, type 7 LSAs are area specific LSAs. That is why type 7 LSAs cannot move from one area to another area in the form of type 7 LSA itself. Understood? So now you can open it as well. So IPOSPF database, NSSA external, and 130.1.1.0. See, type 2 by default. That is nothing. Seed metric is same as previously, but forwarding address is also there. In NSSA, it's mandatory to have forwarding address, and it will be depending on conditions. Like if you are having a loopback interface on your device which is advertised into OSPF, remember forwarding address can be that address only which has been advertised into OSPF, which is advertising into OSPF. So this time you know very well that on R8 we are having multiple interfaces like S0 by 0, S0 by 1, S1 by 0, S1 by 1, and as well as loopback interface which are advertised into OSPF. Now to elect its forwarder, it will check first of all highest loopback interface IP, and if loopback is not there, then highest physical interface IP address will be elected as a forwarding address. Have you understood it? So there was only one loopback interface available on this router. That is why it has elected that 8888, because I configured this IP address on its loopback interface. Okay. And it is having only one loopback interface available here on this router R8. That is why it has been elected as a forwarding address. Yeah. So here there is no requirement to add forwarding address that we were having during stubby area. During redistribution E1 and E2. Do you remember that it was required to advertise that prefix in the OSPF itself, which was redistributed into OSPF, right? Yeah. To add the forwarding address. But in tab 7, that requirement is not here. Here, it will automatically add this forwarding address. Yeah. As you can see, still I have not advertised this 138's network into OSPF, because for 138, still you are having type 7 LSA. See, I have not advertised it into OSPF with using network command. I redistributed it. Yeah. But still forwarding address is there, right? So this forwarding address is there in all type 7 LSAs now. Seed metric is same as previously 20. Now you can see that these type 7 LSAs will be advertised by R8 in the direction of R6 as well as R7 as well as R5. So let's move on R7 now. You can also check those type 7 LSAs available here. And you see only type 7 LSAs are there, not type 4 and type 5. It means 120's prefixes are not there. See, only type 7 are there. So if you check its routing table, you will get only and only N2, not E2 or E1. Sorry, E1. From there, E1 you are receiving E1, but here you are having only and only N2. Have you understood it now? Fine. Great. After it, you see that these all are available on R6 as well as R8, R7, R5, everywhere, right? But you know very well that area 0 and area 1 cannot understand these type 7 LSAs. So it means translation must be done on R5 and R6, but translator will be R6 only. Check it out. And because now R6 have started to generate type 5 LSAs too, because it is translating type 7 back into type 5. So those type 5 LSAs will be advertised by R6, and whoever will advertise type 5 LSAs will also become an ASBR.
Yeah, it will become both ABR and ASBR.
Are you okay with this statement? that whenever a router will advertise any type 5 LSA, it means it will also become
ASPR.
an ASPR. Or you can say that all translators will always work as an ASBR as well. That is why, because R5 and R6, both of them can work as a translator, that is why both of them will also work as an ASBR now, along with ABR. However, they are ABR, but along with that, they will also work as a ASBR as well. So you move on R6 now and configure this command show IP OSPF, and then you can see that now these two routers are working as an ABR as well as ASBR. And then you can also check the database table of R6 as well. This is the database of area 0. We have to check the database table of area 2 as well as type 5 LSS. So let me show you. Everything will be there, don't worry about that. Type 7 as well as type 5. See, type 7 LSS are there, generated by R8, but type 5 are also there for 130 prefix itself, but generated by, advertised by R6. Now it means that it has proved that R6 have translated this type 7 LSS back into type 5 LSS, and you can see that type 5 LSS do not belong to any area, whereas type 7 LSS were belonging to a specific area. Fine. Even you can check database table of R5 as well. R5 is working as an ASBR, but if you check its database table, you will see that translation is done by R6 only.
Yeah.
Tell me. It means translation is done by R6. Fine. Now if you move on R11, show IP OSPF.
सर कमांड आउटपुट में स्पेसिफिकली है तो दिखाता कि ये राउटर ट्रांसलेट करता है।
वो तो अब यहाँ पे एडवर्टाइजिंग राउटर है, मतलब ठीक है
वैसे स्पेसिफिक
ना 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 ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Fine. Are coming from R6 only. And remember, if you are having forwarding address available in type 7 LSS, then it will also get copied back into type 5 as well. Like if you open that LSA here, show IP OSPF database, external 130.1.0, and it is mandatory too. Not mandatory, but it is good to see here, to have here this forwarding address, because if this forwarding address is not there, then of course there can be some problems actually, and I'll let you know later on that what type of problems can occur if forwarding address is not there. So you can see that in area 2 you do not have any type 4 LSA, type 5 LSA, and also redistribution is allowed now over there, right? Fine. And now because R6 is working as a translator, you do one thing, move on R5 and configure its router ID higher than R6. You will see that now R5 will become translator because it is having higher router ID than R5, sorry, than R6. Fine. Move back again on R11 and open this LSA. Still it is showing you, but don't worry, it will update it very soon. Wow, it has updated it, and that will be edge out very soon. Edge, where is edge? Has reached 3600, so of course it will remove it very soon. Don't worry about that. Yes, it has removed it. See, that's it. Of course. Now the question is that how will you understand that okay, this is an SSL LSA, type 7 LSA? For that purpose here we are having P bit. P bit. Even you can do one thing, you can capture this link and I can show you here. See here. Then do one thing. On R13 itself, I'm gonna to shut down this loop back. It have given this update. Then say no shutdown. It will give another update. See. LS update packet, right? Containing external. Where is that? So I hope you people have understood that how will it be possible for routers to understand that okay, this is what? NSSL. It's not it. So a complete information is contained by your LSCC, your update related to your work.
Okay, so that's the end of today's video. So I hope you learned something new today. We'll be coming with few more videos of OSPF, guys. See you later. Thank you.